Welcome to African History and its Discontents. I'm Dr. Christopher Appiah-Thompson, and I'm thrilled to embark on this journey with you, a journey into the layered complexities of Africa's history and its pivotal role in shaping our world today. As we gather here, let's reflect on how history is not just a sequence of events, but rather a conversation between the past and present. A dialogue that whispers to us about power, identity, and sometimes the very discontents of our shared human experience. Picture this: ancient Egyptian funerary practices, where death wasn't seen as an ending, but as a profound passage, a transition to another realm. It provokes so many questions, doesn't it? How did these rituals shape identities and beliefs, not just for that time, but for future generations?
Absolutely. The mysteries surrounding death tell us so much about how societies value life and their understanding of existence. In fact, the ancient Egyptians believed strongly in an afterlife, which influenced their elaborate burial customs and the grand monuments they built, like the pyramids. This makes us consider, how do our current practices and beliefs about death compare?
It's such a great point. And as we transition, let's consider Africa's role in shaping global maritime regimes. Think about how Africa's lengthy coastlines and bustling ports were instrumental in trading long before the great maps were drawn. It prompts us to rethink our narrative of global trade history, doesn't it?
Definitely. Often we view trade through a Eurocentric lens. However, we must recognize that African shores were not merely endpoints on maritime maps. They were central hubs. This historical oversight echoes the need for a re-evaluation of African identities in global contexts.
And the conversation doesn't end there. Moving into the aftermath of the Cold War, we encounter the complexities of U.S. policies towards Africa. These policies left lingering shadows, effects that still resonate in many African countries today. What have we really learned from that era?
The Cold War exemplifies how power dynamics influenced nations. It wasn't just about military might, it was also about political allegiances. The ramifications of those decisions are still felt in Africa today, from conflicts to economic struggles, a painful reminder that history has consequences.
Exactly, and that brings us to a striking topic: South Africa and the migration paradox. The migration dynamics in such a fluid market reveal the complexities of borders drawn in haste, borders that often do not align with the realities of human movement. How do you view this paradox?
It is indeed a paradox. Migration implies movement towards opportunities, but can also embody a desperate flight from conflict or instability. South Africa, as a relatively stable economy, attracts many migrants, illustrating how borders sometimes serve interests more than the realities of lives they separate.
Speaking of instability, the myth of state sovereignty, especially in the case of South Sudan, challenges our clear-cut notions of independence. It invites us to question what sovereignty really means and who gets to define it. What's your take?
Sovereignty has become a tricky concept, especially in places like South Sudan, where fragile governance structures challenge any straightforward notion of independence. It makes me think of sovereignty not simply as about ruling, but also about being recognized and having resources to govern effectively.
That's a crucial distinction. Then we have the fascinating topic of Africa's continental integration and its myriad challenges. The push for unity often meets resistance on various fronts. How does this reflect the heart and soul of contemporary African politics?
Contemporary African politics are a tapestry of varying interests. The road to integration is often obstructed by historical grievances, differences in political ideologies, and economic disparities. Yet the drive for unity still persists. It showcases resilience, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And let's not forget how conflict and wealth interact within the realm of the global political economy in Africa. Addressing the intersections of war and wealth speaks volumes about the priorities that global powers often place over the continent. It's like citing a headline in the news every day.
That's a powerful analogy. What is often lost in the narrative of war and economic strife are the stories of people, stories like those from the Anglo-Ashanti Wars or the 1929 Women's War. When these voices are amplified, we can appreciate the richness of African history.
You're spot on. This idea of revisiting and reinterpreting our past, especially through oral traditions, is essential. When we empower voices, that might have been silenced, we are not just recalling history, we are actively shaping our narratives.
Right. And with the evolving landscape of digital spaces, we're seeing how important it is to keep those stories alive. The echoes of memory, as they are revisited within these spaces, allow diverse narratives to thrive. It inspires a more inclusive understanding of history.
Indeed. So, as we draw this conversation to a close, let's reflect on our journey today. We've traversed through the ancient rituals of Egypt, examined maritime history, and navigated the complexities of state sovereignty. Each of these topics nudges us to rethink our understanding of Africa's contributions and ongoing challenges.
It's been a rich dialogue, a reminder that African history is alive, complex, and we are all part of this unfolding narrative. As we listen closely to these stories, we also partake in a journey of understanding our shared identity.
Thank you for sharing your insights with me today, and to our listeners, thank you for joining us. Let us all continue to engage with these reflections to curate a better understanding through history. Remember, it's not just about the facts, but the stories that give life to them.
Absolutely. Until next time, let's keep this conversation alive. Subscribe and join us on this continual quest as we unravel the vibrant fabric of Africa's history.
Goodbye for now, and let's carry this curiosity into our everyday lives. Thank you for tuning in.